Them are going to be tough, but they'll be spread out a little bit. So, we kind of peak for those games.
The Charleston Tigers start the year at number 5, and they're also on the move, shifting from the 4 to the 1 AAA, where the Tigers should capture their 11th league title in 15 years. Quarterback Doc Crowley is one of the best in the state in any classification. The senior completed 60% of his passes last year for 21 touchdowns with just 4 interceptions. Charleston's move leaves up-and-coming Danville as the team to beat in the 4AA. Danville is led by 3-year starting quarterback Joseph Short and some not-so-little Johns up front.
Albert Villadrosa, he'll be a 3-year starter, offensive tackle, two-way player. He's the strongest kid we have on the team, and he looked for a lot of things from him. He's about 275 pounds.
If Danville should slip, Hector, under new coach Brian Rust, or Arkansas Baptist could grab the 4AA title.
We've got a new contract.
We'll begin our Class 2A preview with a couple of teams from the 7AA East Conference, and both of them have a chance to make it to Little Rock. First, the Hampton Bulldogs. Hampton shared the 7AA East title last year with Harmony Grove. Hampton opens the season number 7, even though they're running low on numbers, just 23 players. But Sonic Super Team linebacker Wesley Abels returns. Abels ran for 1,200 yards last year and led the Bulldogs with 98 tackles. Senior lineman Trey Herod, Drew Duncan, Brad Johnston, and Brandon Evans will open holes for Abels. Evans also closes holes from his linebacker spot. He had 50 tackles last year. The other juggernaut from the 7AA East is Junction City.
Hey, we're tripping over kids. We've got 29 kids for the first time in the preseason. We're going to get to scrimmage against ourselves. That's exciting. Not having to go against phantom players out there and throw against people like that. It's going to be a lot of fun this year.
And here is a look at Hooten's Arkansas football Class 2A rankings. Harding Academy is our preseason number 1. The Wildcats open against Bald Knob next Friday night in Searcy. Junction City's number 2, then it's Augusta and Rison. Of course, Rison will open the season against rival Fordyce. The game's in Rison this year. Charleston's number 5, then it's Barton, Hampton, Danville, Hughes, and the Go Devils at number 10. Carlisle's 11, then it's Marks Tree, Mineral Springs, Hazen, and the Rattlers at 15. The Buckaroos are 16, followed by Jesseville, Desark, Salem, and the Bauxite Miners at number 20.
Get that bench down there. They think they're going to take it away from us right here. One playing their homecoming game. They want to play the Little John for homecoming right here. Let's get after it. Let's go. Beat the Warriors on 3. 1, 2, 3. Beat the Warriors!
That's Danville's coach Kenny Bell, whose Little Johns are the team to beat in the 4AA this year. Little Rock Christian must not have heard. The Warriors scheduled Danville as their homecoming opponent. But it was Danville doing all the dancing in this one, totaling 528 yards offense and 58 points. Dustin Danner returned the opening kick for Danville and rushed for 134 yards before halftime. Numero uno, David Gonzalez led the Little Johns with 147 yards rushing, and senior quarterback Joe Short directed Danville right down the field on their first series, hitting senior Chris Woods with the screen pass here. Fullback Frank Soka, another senior for Danville. He scored the Little Johns' first and final touchdowns. He gets to the goal line on this run and would score on the next to give Danville a 7-0 lead. Little Rock Christian did drive inside Danville's 30-yard line 3 times in the first half. Quarterback Drew Johnson completed 10 passes for 96 yards. His favorite target was Caleb Camerunas, but the Warriors couldn't score, and the Little Johns rolled. The final, Danville 58, Little Rock Christian 0. Just
Moody and I love the Little Johns. Stay tuned for more Hooten's Arkansas football. Let's go, Big Green. Let's go, Danville.
Yeah.
Let's go. Men, in every conference in the state of Arkansas, I don't care if you're 2A to 5A, one game is a conference championship game. It happens every year. And this is it tonight. On our home field, playing Hector. They're undefeated. We're undefeated. And we prepared tonight. We've gone all week. We know what we got to do. And our motto has always been, play 4 seconds. Play 4 seconds. Play 4 seconds. Those guys are going to come over and think they're coming over and they're going to think they're going to knock you off football. That's what they're planning on doing, knocking you off football. Well, you got to decide that you're going to be more physical than they are. Tonight's tonight. You got to decide it's a battle of wills. Their will or our will. Who's going to win that battle? It's a battle of wills. They're on our turf. They're in our house. Nobody comes over and knocks us off the football. This is the game we've been waiting on all year. Big game right here. All you guys that are seniors, big football game. This is it right here. It's time to play Little John football, right? It's time to play Little John football, man. Let's go out there and show how we're going to do it right here. Let's get out there and get after them. Let's get in there and tighten the play right here.
And we're underway. Long kick by Ashlock. Banner's going to take it at the back of the goal line. Boy, he got a little hole and he got hit hard. Jack Bartlett. First down, 18-yard line. Still short, under center. Side and 6 up 3. There by A.J. Newell. I see a flag there. I believe that's the face flag. Banner again, not much there. Ashlock caught the tackle. Just short of 37-yard line. Second down, about 9. Banner stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It's small. First down, Banner. John Ball with nowhere to go. Go short, Chris Miranda and Tyler Hawkins on the tackle. Let's go off there! Go, Big Green! on goal, 3-yard line.
Let's get a touchdown, Green!
Gonzalez for about 100 yards. Johnson to kick it off. High kick. Goes off at 20. Good run back. On the tackle, Curtis Reynolds. Matt Green there too.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Sonic.
Red will receive, defend this end zone.
That's head referee Mark Bird, a.k.a. the Birdman, and his crew was on hand last night for first-year program Little Rock Lutheran taking on undefeated Danville. The Little Johns blocked an early Lutheran punt to set up Dustin Danner for this 27-yard touchdown. Danville led 30-0 in the first quarter. The final, Little Johns 50, Lutheran 0. Face paint, green wigs, and lots of love for the Little Johns in Danville last night. Undefeated Danville taking on the Lavaca Golden Arrows. And this one was close early, and the Little Johns would go to work. Watch junior Dustin Danner. He's going to plow and churn at the end of the play. It's a Danville first down, and the Little Johns are feeling good early. Then Danville's senior quarterback Joseph Short makes it look oh so sweet with the reverse pitch that's right on the money to Chris Woods. And Woods comes right at us for a nice Danville gain, but the Little Johns opening drive would stall as Lavaca's John Carter is going to stuff Justin Hayden on fourth down. Then it's Lavaca's turn. Quarterback Jeff Powers is going to take it around the end, do some dancing, but this would be Lavaca's only first down in the first half as Danville throws a shutout. Final score, Little Johns 41, Lavaca 0.
Guys, it's great having facilities. I know you're all about all this. This is new to a lot of you. None of us have ever been to playoffs before. But guys, it's more than a nice stadium. It's more than a big gym. It's more, all these things are nice. But guys, what it takes to win football games, there's 27 reasons that I'm looking at. That's what it takes to win a football game.
That's Stamps coach Jason Sanders, who surprised on Hooten's Arkansas football. Hampton's fiery coach Brian Boomer Brown and his Bulldogs came to play last night. Fullback Wesley Abels is a load and has some speed too. This long run would set up Hampton for an early 7-0 lead. Bulldog quarterback Derek Sanders gets the score on this 20-yard run, and it was 7-0 early. But Harding would answer in a hurry. That's the Harding way. Caleb Keys has thrown 50 touchdown passes this season. On third down and 36, he finds Jordan Huckabee for the first down. And then Keys hooks up with Huckabee again, this time for a Harding touchdown. It's a 44-yard scoring connection, and that tied it up at 7. But the boys from South Arkansas were resilient. Hampton giving it to the man, Wesley Abels. He is reportedly headed for Rice. What do you think? Abels might do well in Coach Ken Hatfield's flex-phone offense. His 67-yard gain would set up a 1-yard touchdown run, and Hampton was back on top. But Harding had too much keys last night. It took the Wildcats just 2 plays to tie it back up again. Craig Kell will score on a 26-yard catch, and the top-ranked Wildcats go on to remain undefeated, and next week will play host to Charleston. Final score, Harding Academy 42, Hampton 28.
Tonight is an opportunity to go one step farther, and that's beat Bauxite out there in about 10 minutes. That's all you got to do. It's simple.
Charleston coach Shane Story and his Tigers were looking for their 12th win of the year last night and a trip to the quarterfinals, playing host to Bauxite. Charleston would strike first when senior quarterback Doc Crowley goes long to classmate Darren Heiss. That would set up this touchdown run. Fullback Chris Akers and Charleston led it 6-0. But Bauxite was gritty early, responding with a 14-play, 91-yard drive. The Miners capped it with this 4-yard touchdown run by Andrew Ring, and Bauxite took a brief 7-6 lead. But only 12 seconds later, on first down, Charleston heads for the hill. It's super sophomore Drew Hill racing 58 yards for the touchdown, and Charleston led 12-7. The Tigers never looked back from there. Final score, Charleston 33, Bauxite 13. Down at Danville last night, the Little Johns played host to the talented Bearden Bears, and the Hootens can feel the love tonight. But the hometown fans were feeling uneasy late in the fourth quarter, with Danville clinging to a 14-7 lead. That's when Bearden marched down the field behind the running of Jermaine Gregory, who carried 30 times for 156 yards. But it's Bearden's Mark Phelan who caps the drive with this short touchdown. Danville and Bearden were tied 14-14 at the end of regulation, and they were still tied after one overtime at 21-21. In the second overtime on Danville's first play, senior quarterback Joe Short keeps it for the score, and after a missed extra point, the Little Johns led it 27-21. Then it was Bearden's turn, and the Bears faced fourth down from the 5. This is the ball game. Brian Rawls throws it to Creston Gibbs, but Danville senior Chris Woods is there to break it up. Undefeated Danville survives and travels next week to speedy Mineral Springs. Final score, Danville 27, Bearden 21. Tonight on Hooten's Arkansas football.
I know you guys want to win it as bad as anybody, but don't have a let up tonight, because you're probably playing one of the best teams that you've played so far. They got a lot.
The Hornets and the Little Johns were both undefeated going into last night's quarterfinal matchup. The visitors from Danville didn't flinch at all the hype, though. The Little Johns marched 69 yards on their opening possession for a 7-0 lead. Junior Dustin the Hammer Danner goes 52 yards for the score, and Josh Connell will add the extra point to put the Little Johns up early. But the defenses would take over from there for the rest of the first half anyway. On Mineral Springs' first possession, senior tailback Brian Trimble is making the miss, but the Little Johns just keep on coming. Rance Novinger, Frank Socia, and Marco Rodriguez combine on the tackle, and Danville was just as tough against the pass. Watch junior Matt Benson head the other way with the pick. And although a penalty brought this one back, Mineral Springs' defense would return the favor. That's the Hornets junior Chris Harris and senior Russell Young on the smackdown. A little bit later, the Little Johns would finally get something going as Joe Short finds his favorite receiver. That's Richard Casillas for a 28-yard gain all the way down to the Mineral Springs 25-yard line. But on fourth down, the coverage is there, and Mineral Springs drops short and gets the ball back. The Hornets go to work with senior Max Kirby keeping it for a first down, and the Hornets would put together a 14-play drive. But that's when Danville's defense rises to the occasion again. Benson knocking the pass away inside the 10-yard line, and the Little Johns went into the locker room with a 7-0 lead and would pull away late. Final score, Danville 21, Mineral Springs 12. Another battle of unbeatens took place last night as Charleston traveled to Searcy for a matchup with Harding Academy. And the top-ranked Harding Academy Wildcats struggled with 8 turnovers, including this one early on. Caleb Keys rolls out. He's hit by Blake Bates, and Chris Parker recovers for Charleston. A few plays later, the Tigers would score. Chris Akers takes it straight up the middle, and it's 7-0. A little bit later in the first quarter, Keys throws it up, and Stephen Browns intercepts this pass, sprints straight upfield, and gives Charleston excellent field position. Then Bates would cap off the drive with a 6-yard touchdown run and Charleston is thinking upset. The Tigers were up by 14 in the third quarter, but Harding Academy would rally and overcome the 8 turnovers to win it. Next week, the Wildcats play host to number 2 ranked Junction City. Final score from last night, Harding Academy 28, Charleston 21.
You play to win. You hear me? Yes, sir. If it moves, you hit it. Yes, sir. If it moves, you hit it. Yes, sir. If it's in the air, you go get it. You hear me? Yes, sir. If it's in the air, you go get it. If it's on the ground.
Coach Clay Toddy's pregame talk inspired the Rising Wildcats early last night against the number 2 team from the 5AA conference, Mount Ida. Rising used this fake punt to keep its opening series alive. A 29-yard toss from Lee Billings to Wayne Wainwright for the first down, and 3 plays later, Billings hits Tyrell Johnson out of the backfield for a nice 30-yard gain. That would set up Marquise Rawls for a 7-yard touchdown and a 6-0 Rising lead. Mount Ida jumped off sides on the extra point, and Rising used the opportunity to score 2, with Johnson running it in for an 8-0 lead. But that's all the Wildcats would get. Mount Ida answered on its first series. Super cool senior quarterback Josh Ellison keeping it on the option for a big gain. Mount Ida's linemen blocked well all night, helping Ellison total 250 yards total offense. He would plow in from 2 yards out for the touchdown. That cut Rising's lead to 8-6. The Lions would lead 19-8 by halftime and scored 41 unanswered points. Final score in a shocker, Mount Ida 41, Rising 8. And here's a look at Hooten's Arkansas football Class 2A rankings. Harding Academy and Junction City have been number 1 and 2 all year long. Those 2 teams will meet in Searcy next week. Harding Academy survived Charleston, but you can bet on it. 8 turnovers will get the Wildcats beat next week against Junction. The Dragons hammered Hughes 56-0 last night. Danville beat a very talented Mineral Springs team 21-12. Mount Ida and the Hootens are headed for Danville next week. There was plenty of gas left in Mount Ida's tank after 2 overtime wins in the first 2 rounds. Last night, the Lions blew out Rising. Charleston finishes the year at number 5, then it's Mineral Springs. Rising's loss last night was its first one at home since 1999, and it was a real whipping. Hughes never fired a shot at Junction City. Barton finishes the year at number 9, followed by Hampton. Hector starts the second 10. The Wildcats lost by just 1 touchdown at Junction City last week. Then it's Bearden, Jesseville, Carlisle, and the Go Devils. Mark Tree is number 16, followed by the Buckaroos, Desert, Hazen, and the Elks at number 20.
Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Highlights from the AA semifinal games at Harding Academy and up at Danville. Highlights of those 2 games are next. You're watching Hooten's Arkansas football.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by First Security Bancorp.
Guys, you got to this point playing with great intensity. You've also played with great class and great character. We're proud of you for that. Keep that going tonight.
That's Mount Ida's classic coach Frank Stapleton, who returned to his hometown of Danville last night for a semifinal showdown between the Lions and the Little Johns. Danville came into the game with a perfect 13-0 record and turned on the hometown crowd early with a nice scoring drive. Senior quarterback Joe Short passed to Chris Woods, and 2 plays later, it's tailback Dustin Danner cutting back and heading 36 yards for the touchdown and a 7-0 Danville lead. Mount Ida would come back on its next series and tie it up. Senior running back Randy Ty breaks loose, and he's going to outrun the Little Johns to the end zone. That made it 7-7, and we're still in the first quarter. But it would stay that way until just after halftime. That's when Danville would march 68 yards for a touchdown. Short would keep it for a 27-yard score and a 13-7 Danville lead. In the fourth quarter, Mount Ida fumbled a punt, setting up Danville for another touchdown. Danner made it 19-7 with this 4-yard run, and Mount Ida was in trouble, but tried to rally with quarterback Josh Ellison passing over the middle to Tim Moreland, who comes down hard, and Danville's defense would clamp down after that to preserve the win and the Little Johns' perfect record. Final score, Danville 19, Mount Ida 7.
The offensive line did a great job during the second half. The defense stepped up big time, and when they do that, that's what happens. They go to the rock.
Harding Academy has been Hooten's Arkansas football top-ranked team all year in Class 2A with an explosive offense leading the Wildcats. But last night against visiting Junction City, it was Harding's defense that set the tone early. Harding lineman Kyle Myers gets in the backfield, forces and recovers the fumble. And the offense said thanks a lot with a 6-play drive. Harding quarterback Caleb Keys finds Craig Kell in the flat, and Kell will get the first down before he's sandwiched by the Dragon defense. That sets up running back Bradley Watkins coming up with the 4-yard touchdown run, and Harding led it 7-0. Then the Wildcats defense came up big again. That's Jordan Huckabee with the perfect hit in the back, and Josh Eckhorn grabs the interception. But the Wildcat offense couldn't do anything with the turnover, and after a punt, Junction City looked to have an answer. Quarterback Philip Davis breaks this long run, but penalties would follow. On 4th and goal from the 16-yard line, Kell comes up and sniffs out the option pitch, but Junction would get another chance. Harding's offense turns the ball right back over. Keys is intercepted by Brandon Carter. He weaves his way, fights and churns his legs all the way down to the Harding 5-yard line. And on the next play, it's going to be senior running back Justin Wood punching it in for the Junction City touchdown. The 2-point conversion would fail, however, and Harding maintained a 7-6 lead. A little bit later, Harding would add to its lead up 14-6 when Keys and company go to work again. Keys finds Heath Adams for a first down, and a few plays later, it's Keys keeping it himself and finishing the drive with a punishing 3-yard touchdown run. That put Harding up 21-6 just before halftime. Keys added a couple of touchdown passes and another TD run in the second half, and Harding Academy is headed to the Rock as Junction loses in the semifinals for a 3rd straight season. Final score, Harding Academy 41, Junction City 19. Next Saturday night at 6:30, War Memorial Stadium, it's Harding Academy against Danville for the Class 2A state championship. Mount Ida finishes the season at number 3, followed by Junction City. The rest of the Class 2A top 20 stays the same. Charleston won 12 games this year. So did Mineral Springs and Risen. Hughes is number 8. Then it's Barton and Hampton, which was probably the best 6-6 team this season. Hector starts at second 10. Then it's Bearden, Jesseville, Carlisle, and the Go Devils. Mark Tree finished the year with a 9-2 record. Then it's the Buckaroos, Des Arc, and Hazen from the 6AA, and the Elkins Elks, which won 10 games this year. It all began back in September in the alltellhootens.com Kickoff Classic on Labor Day.
The high school football season is underway as the
football better, but every time we got something going, we turned it over, and whenever you turnovers will get you beat.
That bunch was physical. They hit us hard. We hit them harder.
I'm so proud of Brad, our football team, our fans, everybody. We deserve it tonight, the best team on.
I don't care if you're 2A to 5A.
Sylvan Hills Bears. Come on! The Little Johns, McCory. Hampton Rockets. Lutheran High School, Shiloh Christian. Dardanelle. Safety. Greenbrier. Rising. Rogers. Arkansas Baptist. The Bologna Eagles. Central Arkansas Christian. Cyclones. And the Watson Chapel Wildcats love Hootens. Hooten. Arkansas. Hootens, Arkansas football.
You hear me? Yes, sir. If it moves, you hit it. Yes, sir. If it moves, you hit it.
They do not remember teams that just make it to the second round. And it's time to go. You're not playing for yourself. You're not playing for just the people in this room. You need to walk out when you come out there and look at all the people that have come from Russellville. They're ready to see